Kia ora and welcome to a new episode of Find Your Front. My name's Cliff Thompson, and we want to say thank you to our hosts and sponsors of the show, Te Rauora, our Māori health provider. Thank you for, again, another season of this podcast. We've got a special guest today, a pretty amazing local Manurewa, South Auckland boy, but he can tell his own story. Before I get there, though, just want to introduce the great man himself, Ali Lauatiti. Say hi, Ali.
Yeah, kia ora. Hi everyone. Good to be amongst these great men, but also just to talk about how the man himself, or our guest, how he looks after himself. And yeah.
Awesome. So without further ado, I want to introduce the man himself, Erin Clark. Welcome, brother. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, bro. It's nice to be here.
Yeah. Awesome, bro. So we're going to have a bit of a yarn today. Obviously, the show's called Find Your Front. You know, a rugby league phrase, a rugby league terminology, and we've taken that to not just be sort of what it means on the field, but how do we find our front in life when we face oppositions and challenges. So as we talk today, it's going to be a little bit about that stuff. But yeah, bro, let's just get going. Like in terms of who you are, where you're from, even if you know a little bit about your whakapapa or, you know, where your whānau's from, just tell us a little bit about that to get going.
Erin Clark, obviously. Grew up South Auckland. Whole family grew up here. Mum brought up here, so grew up in Rewa and then moved to Manukau. So been there a while, and obviously mum's a pretty talented netballer. Obviously a lot of people know that, and been brought up around sport my whole life, and it's kind of ingrained in me at a young age, and that professional side of sport. And got a sister named Justine, 3 kids, a wife Elizabeth, and life's good, bro.
Yeah, nice. And so you made mention about sort of growing up, being in Rewa. But what about in terms of your Māori heritage? Do you know much about that, where you come from?
So dad's from Gisborne, Ngāti Porou, bit of Tainui and his blood, and mum's from Waitangi, so bit of Ngāpui up there, mum and nana. So been lucky enough to travel a lot as a kid.
Hey, just a question, you know, I know we've been talking about it for the last couple of days, but is it true? Is it Rewa hard or is it Kura harder? What is it?
There's a lot of politics around that, mate.
That's only what Kura people say, eh?
But the template's Rewa hard. Got it for it.
Can't argue, bro.
I like it, yes.
I'm just feeling the connection because obviously both brought up in Rewa. Yeah. Both sides up from Ngāpui, bro. You know, it's where the goodness comes from.
I was lucky enough to play with this fella too, so I know him pretty well. When
maybe we'll talk about
the back on.
I did all the tackles. This guy did all my tackles.
So
just for that, like, can you remember, both of you, when you said you played together, so you were coming through 20s?
Yeah, I was playing cup. I'd come up and down from 20s to cup. Yeah.
And so that was the back end of your career, right?
Yeah.
And so what would have been the age difference then?
Just 5 years.
But on that note, bro, like while we're there, like what's that like coming up with, obviously Ali's a South Auckland boy as well, and he'd done all he'd done in the game, and then you're coming up through grade and you're coming to play cup, and this guy's there. What was that
funny
like?
Story, bro. Like I remember, was it my 5th birthday or my 8th birthday?
Yeah.
And we had it at Kura Pools, and obviously mum's close friends with Ali's sister, and Ali actually, my 5th, presented my cake for me at Kura Pools. And I was starstruck. Like, I love this fella growing up. And then fast forward a lot of years, and I'm playing next to him. It was pretty cool. So
that he hated me after that.
That's what they say. Never meet your heroes. You'll always be disappointed.
Got half a cake, isn't it?
Half a cake. Oh, nice. So yeah, going back to picking that up. So your upbringing, Manurewa, Manukau, you said. But what was that like? Like, you know, being South Auckland boys, all 3 of us, it's easy to, you know, South Auckland gets a bit of a stigma.
Yeah.
But for you, what was the truth? Like, was it difficult? Was it not?
Yeah. I was pretty lucky, bro. Like, Nan, like mum being away, Nan kind of brought me up, and she was real protective. Like, she didn't let us go out with friends, and cause she knows how the world goes. And I'm not saying I was stuck at home all the time, but she just looked after us pretty well. So she kept us away from that side of stuff. Like, we were right amongst it where we were living, but she looked after us at home, and we didn't have to go out to find like love or find from other people because we got it at home. So she made that a safe haven at home, and didn't have to go anywhere else for it.
Yeah, nice. Because even with that, like mum being the high performance sport person she was, and you were young. I mean, how was that, bro? Was that difficult? Did it have its challenges for you with mum being away a bit?
Yeah. I think as a kid, bro, you don't realize it until you get older. But no, it was pretty cool, if I'm being honest. Like, because mum was working, she was away. She'd always come back and take us shopping and stuff. So that was like the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. But it wasn't until I got older where I started to realize like I missed out on a lot like with my parents, and like obviously mum and dad split early. So Nan kind of brought me up. But like I said, Nan made home and had a lot of love at home. And yeah, I was lucky I had a good nana and she's still going strong now. Yeah, so
still a big support for you, eh?
Was there any, like, I know we talk about culture, but, was there anything from your Māori culture or even your Samoan culture that kind of helped you out growing up, and or that you think that you can probably talk about it? As I know your nana kind of brought you up. Was there any cultural practices that she kind of installed on you?
She's flies between a Samoan and Māori side, but I think just the family was the biggest one, because we'd always take trips up north to see her mum, and I was always surrounded by family growing up. So in regards to like obviously the podcast and stuff and the message you're trying to get out, that's like a massive one for me, was having the right people around you. And that was ingrained in me early in my childhood. So later on, when I did face those challenges, I knew that I could go back to what I knew, which is family.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's cool, bro, because I think we'll pick that up a little bit further on, just around some of the things that anchor a person when they're going through some of their most difficult times. And but sort of circling back to that, so you're young, mum's travelling, and she's not just like a travelling sports person, like she's playing Silver Ferns, repping New Zealand at the highest level.
Yep.
But then you find this love for footy.
Yep.
When did that start?
So we were living in Weymouth at the time, and I think Nan just was like, I'm going to take you down the local footy field. So took me down to Mountford Park. She was just like dragging me along, pulling me along. It's like, yeah, let's go find your team. We walked through all the teams, bro. And because no one would take me, because I was 4 and it was under 6s, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And there was one guy, Paul. I remember him. And he was the only guy that took me. And from then on, bro, I played footy all my life since that day. So
yeah,
4 till now.
Should have came down to the Scorps.
Rewa, Marlon's heart.
Yeah, it was the local one. So
yeah, and so you played Rewa right up until, or played Marlins in that. Make any rep teams, anything like that? Early on?
Yeah, later on, I played Rewa for a few years. I bounced around, a bit of a club, jumped around different clubs. I went to Otahu, over to Bay Roscoe, and then before I started kicking on, I was at Point Chev for 2 years. So bit of a
Soldier soul.
Soldier soul. Was that Jerry Cece? Enticed you over to the Bay?
The Bay.
Yeah. But rep teams, I did make a few rep teams, but I felt like the thing that I felt was I was only in them because of mum.
Yeah.
Like that's how I felt at a young age. Because honestly, if I look back, bro, and I wasn't the greatest player growing up. I just had a dig, and yeah, that's how I felt at the time when I was younger. Looking back now.
Yeah. What I was going to ask you on that, like with obviously mum, and you sort of alluded to it, being who she was, what sort of pressure, did it create pressure for you?
Yeah.
Did you feel that pressure? Yeah, and then how did you, at the time, like you might look back now, think, man, that's how I dealt with it. But yeah, bro, did you feel the pressure of that, the name and the expectation?
I think as a kid, you probably don't.
Yeah.
It's probably cool to ride the wave that your mum's a netballer and things like that. But looking back, it probably did have a little bit of pressure, and probably didn't really realize that some people were only my friends because of mum. But yeah, that's just how I see it now. And no, to be honest, bro, no pressure.
No.
Yeah.
Was there anything that kind of rubbed onto you? Like, I know she's a professional, was in the game for a long time. Was there anything that you reckon that you've kind of taken on, some of her habits or,
Nah, not really, bro. I'm still trying to find my way now. I don't know, bro. I can't really remember how she used to structure her days and that, but she was always a good mother, and I probably can. And she always left work at work when she come home. So and that's something I'm trying to do as a father now. So
yeah, nice. And so you sort of play local footy, you start making a few rep teams. When did you sort of click? Because like you said, you're thinking at the time, like, oh man, am I only just sort of getting there because of mum?
Yeah.
But there's got to come this moment, right, where you think, no, actually, there's something here. I might be able to carve a bit of a career out in this footy space. When did that switch sort of happen for you?
Yep. So funny, I don't think not many people know this, but I went on a trip to Sydney for the Auckland Vulcans. So every year they used to have a team that used to go over, play Parramatta, Patrician Brothers High Schools and all that. So I got picked in that. And then I actually got picked up from Parramatta when I was over there. So they were the first club to pick me up. So they sent me over for camps.
Oh, wow.
And I was signed there which was meant to go into 20s for 2 years. But I wasn't ready to leave. So I used to go over for like end of year camps, play a game, and then come home. And then they were ready for me to pack up and full-time move over, but I wasn't ready. And then...
And can I ask about that, bro? Like when you say you weren't ready, in what way?
I was just because of the safe haven that we built at home, and I wasn't ready to leave home, bro. I was maybe 16, 15, 16, and they wanted me to go play Harold Mets over there full time for like 7, 8 months, and then come home. But even just going over for the camps, bro, I struggled. Like I was only there for a week, but I just missed home, missed Nan. Yeah, so
I think it's
mind you, when your Nana did everything for you, washing,
wipe my bowl.
But on a serious note, bro, like, I mean, and we see so many, I mean, you see it now, you're still in the system. But we see all these young kids moving over to Oz or moving over this way to try and get an opportunity. It's tough, eh?
It's tough, bro.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was there for a week and I cried the first 2 days and I was 15, 16, bro. I missed home.
Yeah.
And you go from like here to Sydney, which is a massive city. It's full on. And yeah, it's hard to get a gauge of it. And
you don't realise how big it is,
how big it is, bro. And it's a big culture shock too. Australians, they're real nice people, but it's just different. Like, and it's hard to adapt to, especially at that age.
I know you said about the culture. Do you reckon the coaches are a bit different in terms of real harsh and all that? Because we kind of talk about, the stuff that they have to, the challenges they go through, like cultural shock. Then also, you go from a coach that's nurturing at home, go to, Aussie coaches are good, but they're real straight up, and so they can be harsh. What some of the challenges that you went through as a, relationship with coaches or whatever,
I think first time going to Para, like you said, even just the way they talk to you, like here it's real. They kind of come to your level and they know how to get the best out of you wherever they're. But they're used to it anyway, so it's different. They just like, you need to do this, you need to do that, like they're kind of telling you. And I was like, holy, this is different.
Pretty direct, eh?
Yeah, and his name was Craig Wilson. He's a good mate of mine now. I still see him, but bro, he used to scare me every time he used to go over there, bro. Like, but and he meant well, but just the way it came across, it wasn't normal for like someone like me who's been brought up back here in South Auckland.
It's high performance, eh?
Yeah, it is, and that's why we're talking about it, eh, bro? Like a lot of families, they want that dream for their young person, but like you're talking, that's why I appreciate you talking about it, because the pressures that come, the feeling isolated or just missing your nan or your mum, it's all that little stuff that they think you can play footy at a high level, but it's the mental side of it, eh? Yeah. And so when we go from that, so you decide, oh, nah, I'm going to try crack it here. Was the Warriors always something, the team you wanted to play for, on your radar?
Yeah, so I was a part of the Warriors development squad, which is like younger players just come in and train a couple of days. But so I kind of stuffed that up because I signed with Para. Because Warriors weren't going to offer me anything, but then Para offered me something, so I took that. As I got older, Stacey was the 20s coach at the time, and I was playing for Point Chev at the time, and Carl Gribble, who runs the field boys at Warriors, was long story short. So Stacey and Carl were close through Point Chev, and Stacey somehow spoke to Carl and said, "Oh, well, you're be keen to come back to the Warriors." He needs to, and Stacey used to grab videos from our games and tell me I need to do this better, and then I slowly developed. Had my best year, bro, at Point Chev that year. I was 16 playing under 20s, pretty much playing against men, and with the help of Stacey and Carl, kind of developed into this decent footy player. and got the offer from the Warriors, the 20s, and yeah, from then on, just
Met your hero.
yeah.
Face, Lombardi.
Yeah.
So with that though, you come into the Warrior system.
Yep.
And then you said a little bit earlier that you sort of bounced between 20s and Cup.
Yep.
How did you find that experience? Was it difficult, challenging, or did you at the time, I don't know, you just water off a duck's back?
I think, as thinking back, I was a real, like Ali can think, I was a real young, confident kid, like probably a bit too confident for my own doing. And like those things I'd take with both hands because I was so confident in myself.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't even been that confident because I wasn't even as good as I thought I was. But when those opportunities came, I was like, yeah, I'm good enough to do this. Because of the person I was young, I was overconfident, and so I was.
But did that confidence come because you knew your game, like you'd done the hard work, or where did you think that, when you say maybe overconfident, because you're looking with retrospect now, right? You're looking back. But in the moment, where do you think that confidence was coming from?
The gist, bro. The gist.
Nah, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know where that came from. I think I was just always boasted up at high school because I was the only one player. Like, I was a good footy player at high school, and then everyone used to talk about me, and I just kind of got to my head, and and then that's probably where that came from.
I think just looking back now, I think it was like in some way it was a good thing. Like you get some of our kids coming through, and they don't kind of back themselves and, kind of put themselves out there, which I think you did well. But in a way, like I thought, you kind of did it within the limit, I guess. And and I think it's helped you along the way. And I can see, all the changes, and you've definitely matured into, a man. And also, but yeah, I thought it was good to have you around. And it's funny, man, you used to G up the boys, and shucks off for you, man. The way you used to walk around, man, your shoulders up, chest. But I think that was
But that's the challenge, hey, bro. Like, how do you find that? If you were talking to your younger self now, looking back, that fine line between, because to play at the level that you guys play at, you've got to have a level of confidence in your ability and believe that almost that I'm the best in my position and I'm going to go and do what I do. But finding that fine line that doesn't spill over to arrogance, like. What do you think about that? How difficult is that when you look back now? What's the thing that's helped you see, maybe I was, calling it overconfidence versus arrogance, or just confidence? Like, what do you think about all of that now when you look back?
Yeah, I think I've found that formula now. But back then, like I said, like I was probably pretty talented in my area. Listen to the outside noise. I really listened to that, and I fed off that. And I think that's probably what got to my head. And like looking back now, I can honestly say that the arrogance didn't match the skill set because I was still raw, and I was probably good in like high school footy, but going into that the next step, I probably didn't match. The arrogance didn't match the skill set at that time. So that's where
I appreciate that. And so I mean, from there, like, what's going on in Erin's life off the field? Like, you're, essentially at high school, you're the man, right? You're killing it, gun. Like you said, everyone's fueling that, and probably to some degree, rightfully so. What's happening for you off the field? How is a young guy, and that's also playing with some of his heroes now, beginning to rub shoulders with them? How's Erin Clark managing that off field? What was happening in your life?
I think at the start, like I was pretty good with it. Like I kind of did everything. My first year NRL or Cup, I ripped in. Like I was as disciplined as I could be. And then when I left high school, I kind of missed out on a lot of years being a kid. I think during those, because over high school I was training in 20s. Like I used to fly away. So then I just try to catch up on that, whilst trying to be a professional athlete. And that's something I regret. I wish I was fully invested. So that's probably it.
So when you say catch up on, you're talking about the social life?
The social life. And that's what I felt like I missed out on a lot in high school. And then after high school, a lot of my friends will catch up or stuff like that. And where before I wouldn't even go. But I'll end up going to those things just to try and yeah, catch up with old friends, and I found myself doing that a little bit too much. Yeah, so that's probably.
I'm going to ask you an honest question, bro. Like, you feel free to answer it or not. Do you think it's got something to do with ego? I mean, we all have to deal with it, right? And that when I say ego, like, yeah, I'm traveling, I'm playing close to NRL, and then, like you're saying, I shouldn't have gone and done that stuff, but I felt I missed out on it. But also that ego part, which is like, I'm the man. Like, I can go and be with my boys and do that. Do you think that played a part for you? I know for some it does, for some it doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah.
And whenever I was with them, I'd be like the talk of the group. So I probably was feeding off that. Like I said, I listened to outside noise, and if I needed a little bit of pump up, I'll go have a beer with the boys and they'll make me feel a little bit better about myself. And that was probably me trying to go and feed the ego like you're talking about. So yeah, I reckon that's true.
And I know we'll get to it a bit later, like really interested to hear how the sort of evolved Erin manages all of that now, which is going to be really cool to talk about. But yeah, we're picking up the story, the threads, like you're in that 20s cup system, bro, what happens? Like, because you end up debuting for the Warriors
2017,
2017,
19, yeah.
At 19 years old.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through that? What was that like?
No, that was pretty cool, bro. Like, I remember I had a real close mate. His name was Evander. Went through high school with him, and we just built this real good friendship. And I always told him, like, my goal was to debut at 19. And then when it happened, bro, it was crazy. Kind of didn't expect it to happen. I probably didn't deserve it at the time, but can never take away the debut in the NRL.
So what was it you thought they saw in you? Like, how did that opportunity come about? Was it injury or your form, mixture of both?
Yeah, it was a bit of injury, I think. But I did have a good preseason. Like, and we played Gold Coast in a preseason trial down in Rotorua. Oh, I think it was Rotorua, and I actually did all right. And then bully was Isaac Luke at the time. And we had Nathaniel Roach. So I was third string hooker at the time, and Nathaniel had been injured, and Isaac had a rib cartilage, so he would have had to get a needle, and they just wanted me on the bench for cover. So that's probably how it came about. Yeah.
So you debut, and you play your first game, and then what happens? Did you think mentally, like, man, I've arrived, like, now I've cracked first grade, I'm going to play heaps of first grade, I'm not going to go back to cup 20s, whatever it was. What was going on in your head?
Yeah, I'll say a story, bro. Like, this shows the kind of person I was. Straight after that game, I had training the next day. I went, drank all night, celebrated it. I only played 4 or 5 minutes, but we went to this. I went with a few childhood mates, and we went to this pub, and they were putting it on this TV screen, and I was just watching. I was like that ego, feeding that ego.
Yeah. So how do you manage that, bro? Like, how does a young person that's sitting there listening to this now, thinking, man, like, is that me? Am I in that boat? Like, again, what sort of advice, what sort of insight would you give to a person that might be running that risk? Yeah.
Probably listen to, like, it's so cliche, but listen to your family, your parents, because mum always told me that, but I never listened. Like, and looking back, she always said, "Oh, let this starting to creep in. Be careful of this." And I was like, "I know better." And that's just the type of person I was at the time. But yeah, like, actually take on and listen what they have to say, because it could prove massive to your future.
So what was that timing, when you said, "Oh, no, I gotta listen to my mum now"? So was there a point in your life where the penny dropped and you're like, "Nah, it's time for me to kind of make that change"? Or
Nah, I learned the hard way, bro. I lost it all. I had lost it all.
To tell us about that, yeah.
So I had to learn. I learned the hard way, yeah.
If you don't mind, like, tell us about that losing it all.
Yeah.
Stuff in life, like, where were you? What happened? How did it all come about?
Yeah. So I'd moved to Canberra. My wife now, like, I was a pretty rubbish partner at the time, and used to just do what I want when I want. She'd always stay with me, so I just took advantage of that. Go out with the boys, do what I want. She just had enough. She moved overseas. She moved to her sister in Sydney. And I was at the Warriors at the time, and I just couldn't it's funny, like, you think you're so high and mighty and macho, but it's when they leave and the penny drops, like you said, you're just like, mate, I never thought you'd do that.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? And then you become the victim. And that's how I felt. Like, ends up being about you. I started bawling my eyes out to her, like, oh, why would you do this to me? And when all that whole time she was just sitting through it, like, she was taking everything that I was dealing to her, and she just had enough. And she was young, like, she was probably 18 at the time, and I probably put her through some things that an 18-year-old shouldn't go through. So yeah, that was the reason. So I went to Canberra to follow her. She was in Sydney, so I made the trip just to catch her. And she didn't want to bar me, but I just went on my own accord and just try to sort things out. But then I go over there and just carry on the same stuff I was doing here. And yeah, that's we had found out she was pregnant. And then she moved back here, and then I just was ready to give it up.
Give up footy?
Give up everything. Like,
Wow.
just come home. People say, like, you shouldn't be chasing a woman, but that was on my own accord, I reckon. Because she was trying to get away from me, and I was trying to get back to her when I was the one doing all the damage. So, like, I found myself playing the victim quite a bit for my own doings.
Yeah, bro. So, wow. Okay.
I was going to say, it was the Māori in you because it was the Samoan guy. You stopped it there.
And obviously, like, I really loved her, so, but my actions didn't show that. And
so there's obviously some qualities in her that you knew you needed, right?
I needed, and I found that now because we're married. We're probably still on a bit of a bumpy road, but I can put my hand on my heart and say I'm a completely different person to the one I was.
Yeah. No, that's powerful, bro. And, you know, I think that's, man, when we talk about, you know, because our game's a tough game, mate. You know, it's a gladiatorial sport, and there's a lot of bravado in it. But when you boil it right back down, like, the people that matter most, the ones that stick by you, like we always say, that you can perform best when you find those loves of your life or the things off the field that really anchor you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, actually, it makes you probably better at your craft. It doesn't matter whether it's footy or you own a business. You tend to be better at what you do because you got that life stuff stable. And so to pick that up, you come home and you said, sort of circling back to what you said before, ready to give it up. Like, not going to, and when you say give it up, you're talking not chasing the NRL. So what happens, bro? You come back home from Canberra and you're just finding a regular job and playing local park footy. Was that the go?
That was a go, bro. And, like, honestly, like, I just signed a good contract at Canberra, so I was about to make some alright money. And, like, the talk from mum was just stay there, wait it out, and at least you'll have some steady income to provide for if she is pregnant. But like, at the time, you can't hear anyone else, bro. Like, I feel like you could call it depression, you could call it. I didn't see it as depression. I just seen it as I knew the solution kind of thing. No one else knew but me.
What was best for you?
What was best for me? You don't know. I know. And that's how I was thinking at the time. Where if I could go back, I'd take a breath and just listen. Like, but so I came home, had no money, like, because I was on 20s contracts and cup contracts coming through the grade. So had my first NRL contract, turned that away. Had really no money, nothing. Came home, kind of was a bum for a while. Like I said, lucky Nan, I can do right and I can do wrong. It's probably a bad thing, but she'll go to the ends of the earth for me. And, like, she was on the benefit at the time, and she was finding ways to, hey boy, go, it's for you. And that's why, like, it's like, you're talking about it now, you don't realize how massive it was for me at the time, just helping me out.
Massive, bro. And so then how do you find your way? So you come back for that life stuff, and baby on the way, playing local footy, not a lot of money, but then you start playing good park footy, eh?
Yeah. Oh, so that year I did my ACL.
Yeah.
So I kind of spiraled a bit more.
Oh,
that
wow.
2018 year. So first trial game, because I put on a bit of weight, bro. I got to like 128. I'm sitting at probably 108 now, so it's quite a bit. And I'm not the tallest bloke, so that's a lot of weight to carry around. So yeah, I did my ACL playing for Rewa. I went back to Rewa and then just spiraled from there that year, drinking every weekend.
First serious injury?
First serious injury, yeah. Left ACL. Loved the bottle. Loved to drink. Indulged in just random people that I could drink with. And yeah.
So what was the circuit breaker, bro? Because you got the injury, you're now drinking a lot, spiraling down, in your words. What was the circuit breaker? What changed it? What was the moment? What happened?
Probably actually having my son, I think. Like, obviously, after that, I still had a bit here and there, but it was nowhere near as bad. Like, just surrounding myself, and realizing who was actually my friend. And I think that's a big one you realize when you come back from being in that professional circle. You get a lot of mates. You get a lot of people who love you and who want to be your friend. But then when you come back to reality, you see who's
there now,
or who's there for the ride.
Yeah.
And that's what hurt the most, coming back, and then you lose a lot of people that you thought were actually close friends, and you forget about the people who were there, and you go off on this journey with people who were just there for the good times, and then you realize, I should have just stayed with this core people who were there from the start instead of riding the wave.
Yeah,
and that's what kind of surrounding myself around people who wanted the best for me kind of helped that.
Started helping you, CA. And so you're working through that, and you work to the end of that injury. You sort of come through it, and then you go back and start playing for Rewa again.
Rewa, bro.
Yeah. And what happened there?
So I was going to go to Howard, bro. Funny story. So I had a bit of money. Obviously,
was that Jethro friend trying to entice you, bro?
It was Aaron Albert. Big ass. He was telling me, "Oh, you have this," and I went there, and they're like, "Hey." I went down. But then I actually thought about it, and I was like, "Where's the best place to go where I'm gonna fall in love with the game again?" Because that's what I was searching for. Like,
and still not thinking about NRL, right?
Thinking about NRL. Just trying to. And I got a message from a mate of mine from Rio, and he was like, "Bro, just come back, play with the boys, and we'll just go from there." And I was either go to Howard, make a bit of money to help provide, or go to Rewa and just play for the love of it. So at the end of it, I ended up going to Rewa, and probably the best decision I made.
Because you play for counties that year too.
Play for counties that year,
yeah. So when you say best decision you made, why?
Because I had people who, I think the biggest bit was people who were going to tell me the truth and not just let things go under the rug. And like, I already had a bad name around Rewa, just around the club with their 2018. You used to go to the after function, just get blind, bro, be an idiot. So they knew how I was, and they were willing to take me on.
Nice.
Being the person I was, and they were willing to give me another chance and actually help me. And
So how does that help you today, bro? Like, I mean, that's pretty powerful, right? That people would take a chance on you, even though you've done things that we think, man, I wouldn't give me another chance, maybe.
Yeah.
How does that help you today in your mindset when you look at either people struggling or you look at a young fella going through something? Yeah.
I think the biggest thing I'd noticed for myself in regards to that is I'm open to, like, this person might be talking about this person, but I'll see it from a different lens.
Yeah.
So I can, I feel like I'm open. Like, I'm not gonna, just because you said he's like this, I'm gonna give him a chance. Because a lot of people back then, they didn't like me because this person said they didn't like me. So then this person already had a perception of me because of what they've heard, and they didn't know me from a bar of soap. And that's how I felt it's helping me today, is I'll give someone a chance, and I'll see. Obviously, they might, unless they do something to me that, doesn't suit my values. I'll give them a chance.
So would you say, like now, back then you kind of cared what other people thought about it, about you, but now you're okay.
Yeah.
You're okay in your own skin. You don't worry anymore.
Yeah, I was talking to Cliff. I remember having that conversation with you, bro, and Cliff asked me that. He goes, "What's the biggest change?" And mine's like, I don't have to prove myself to anyone. Like I don't have to kind of try to fit in. Well, like you said, I'm happy how I am, and if that fella walking down the street they like me, then that's on him.
That's his problem, eh?
And I know people. That's human nature. Everyone's got their own perception on you, and as long as my close ones, my loved ones, my wife, my kids, and it's only the person that scares me is when my wife doesn't like me. So that's the only thing that. Unless as long as they're happy with the person I am, I'm doing well, and I'm content with myself as a person.
Don't mess with those Tongan ladies, man.
Yeah, they're scary.
But there's something in there, bro. Like you get to that point in your life where you realize when it's the man you look at in the mirror, the person that you're walking at home with, who your kids and your wife see. Like who was that person that comes home to them after? Because they don't care how many block plays you've done and how big the contract is. Especially your kids, like they don't know. They just see dad.
Yeah, that's the real you, eh?
Yeah, is dad there for me when I walk in the door? When he walks in the door, the measure of the man becomes who you are to your family and what they say about you, right? Yeah. And so I think with that, you go, circling back to your story, you have that amazing year with Rewa. You're finding yourself personally. What happens next in the story of Erin Clark?
So we have a decent year, bro. Like we have a few ex-warrior, that King Vuni Ayawa. So he came back to Rewa. He was playing for Rewa.
You still keep in touch with King?
Nah, I'm off social. So truly. That was massive having him there as well. And we actually did all right, bro. We played Glenora, took them right to the wire. Mount Albert, we were leading them at half time. So we actually had a decent crack. And I gave my agent a call because I felt that urge, the love for the game coming back, and I was ready to give it a crack. And he came down, and just everything went from there.
Yeah, and so the Titans come knocking, right?
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah, so big thing about I've realised in my career is not to burn bridges. So the guy Ezra Howe got me to. You probably know Ezra for NZ Rugby League, and he got me to Canberra, and he was at Gold Coast at the time. So my my agent gave him a call, and just the ball rolled from there.
So when you brush Mooks, eh?
He didn't want to bar me. Mooks hated me at the time. I remember a funny story. It's probably not a good story, but when I was going through my little spiral to Mission Bay, and me and my few mates were drinking at Mission Bay, and then you see this Mook start running out, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And like I caught up with him in the Kiwis camp, and he was just like, "Mate, like to see you go from that person I seen that day to now is massive." And it just shows like
it is, bro, because we all, and here's the point of all of this, right, is we all have a story. And there's something I say to people often, especially leaders, which is the real key to a lot of things is it's not judging a seed out of season, right? So when you look at a person, don't be quick to write them off just because there are things we don't know that are happening in their life, that are happening up here mentally. Sometimes they just need a change of environment, change of the right people. Those things can make a world of difference. Some people just got to go through a few things to learn a few things, get some context, get some appreciation for life, right? But that sort of bounces us to the Gold Coast. Because how long were you there for?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you go and sign a contract, take an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then, bro, tell us about your Gold Coast experience. Like, because obviously stay there for 5 years. Some things must have gone right. Were going right for you?
Yeah, no, it was cool. So I had my dad there. He was living on the coast, so that kind of helped. And he was massive for me first moving over there. Like he gave me a bit of money to get a place, set myself up. And his big thing was to get my wife now and the kids over as soon as, just to kind of keep me on the straight and narrow. And so he set me up with a place, got me furniture. And he just wanted me to do well too. Like, obviously the old man hasn't been in my life like much, but he's always watched us from afar, and that was pretty cool of him to help me set up. And so that all happened, and my wife came over in January. This was all before COVID, and then just went from there, bro. It was just,
you ended up playing. Do you know how many games?
94 games, I think it was.
Yeah. It's a lot, eh?
I was looking at how many win-loss ratio. We lost 64 games over the 5 years. I was like, damn.
I knew you changed because we were, hey, Erin, and you did a weight toss. Sad dude, man.
Nah, yeah, 94 games.
94 games. There's a lot of footy, right?
Yeah,
In a different place that you don't call home.
Yeah.
So when did that, or before I ask this question, were there any significant challenges you experienced while you were in the Goldie?
Yeah.
You know, living there again. You said when you were younger, you found it difficult leaving home. Now I know, obviously, you have family here. You'd settled down a bit. You'd found your rhythm. You got a second opportunity, which not a lot get.
Yeah.
At footy again. But were there any significant changes or challenges for you in those 5 years that you were there, bro?
Yeah, there's a lot, bro. First year was always good. Like I said, my first year at the Warriors was good. First year at Gold Coast was good, and then started creeping in old habits. And my wife had moved over, but she started to notice all this stuff starting to creep in, and she always reminded me, and then I got caught right in that wave again, bro, early in my Gold Coast career.
Yeah.
And we'd argue and she'd come back. Like, that's how bad it was, back and forth from New Zealand to Aussie. And then, yeah, so I ended up having to stay in this house by myself. And like I said before, like I had my wife there, so I was all right. But then when she left, I had all this time to myself. And at the end of the 2020 season, that's kind of being by yourself, got nothing else to do. What do? Go get a box and try and indulge in something. And yeah, we had no training, so we had every day off. So I was doing that nearly every second day. I'd buy a box and play PlayStation, just drink and play PlayStation. And that's kind of the habits I started feeling were starting to creep in again. And my wife had moved back here because she had enough of it again with kids. And that's how selfish I was. And yeah, so I'd make my kids have to move back to New Zealand for my own selfish needs, which is something I'm not proud of, and I can talk about now because I know that never happened again. So yeah, just those old habits started to creep back in, bro, and it took me a while to start realizing it. And obviously being in the Gold Coast, bro, like bright lights, and you tell yourself you're not going to get, you're like, nah, I'm just going to focus on
a lot of distractions there, eh?
With footy comes a beer after the game, and then a beer after the game ends up going out with the boys, and yeah, you just get caught in that little but right.
And so what sort of happened for you to give you the confidence or the assurance or that, you know what, I'm on top of it? Like the stuff that used to make me spiral down can't catch me anymore, you know? Do you feel like you're on top of that now? Do you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm on top of it now. Like we're in the best place we've been as a husband and wife now. And like there's times I'll like still have enjoy time with my friends and the boys, but I know when's the right time to do that and when's not. Where before I just do it. If my wife says no, I'll just do it. And I think I feel more of what she feels. Like I'm open-minded now, where before I was real selfish and I didn't really care about how she felt. Yeah.
Do you feel like, you know, when you're going through those, obviously, you know, it's been a bit of a cycle, but when you're doing all that, you know, indulging and all that stuff, rather than when you're with your wife, does it feel like, or, you know, family and all that, and they're happy, does that feel more content, you know, when you're doing the family stuff and all the other stuff? Or
I think just seeing your kids smile, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's, and like with the indulging stuff, you still wake up the next day and you got the same problem.
Yeah.
Like, and it took me a while to realize that. Like I used to run away from problems, and now I'm actually, and I've learned this from my wife. She takes things head on. Like if there's a problem, she'll sort it out straight away. And that's something I took on from her. And she's been a blessing in my life, bro. And taught me a lot of things, how to be a man through a woman's lens. And and that's why I reckon I'm going in the right direction now, like as a father and as a husband.
Yeah, it's awesome, bro. And you know, I'll be honest, like even seeing you come back this year to the club, like seeing how much you've grown just within yourself, and from the conversations we've had to the way I see you conduct yourself around the boys, and even, you know, we had the preseason camp, and then we went off on the boat after that, and, you know, seeing you leave early with Liz and me and Lisa, you know, all of us leaving together at the same time. You know, I know earlier in your career, probably wouldn't have been the case, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the growth, bro, is not just, I just want to say to you, like, it's not just what you're sensing, like we see it. And, and there's so many of us that are proud for you and your family of how impactful that is having. And then we sit here and able to talk about it and share it, for those that we know it's going to help.
Yeah.
But before we sort of round that stuff up, coming home, well, let's talk about that, you know, because I remember sitting in the office, me and Jez talking, and then we hear these murmurs like, Erin's coming back, right? And then the Kiwis get named, and we see Erin Clark get named in the Kiwis. Like, all of this stuff happens at the same time. But what was the catalyst, first of all? The first question is, what was the catalyst for coming home?
I've always wanted to come home, bro, if I'm being honest. But I never asked the question because I wasn't ready. Like, those first 3 years, I was going through that same old spiral when I was at the Gold Coast, and I didn't want to come home, and I wasn't mature enough to face challenges that I've faced in New Zealand before and not get caught in the same cycle I did then, like old friends coming in and getting caught up in there. So I felt like I wasn't ready then, and probably I wasn't playing my best footy to actually be able to come home until probably 2024. Like, I was lucky. I had a decent year that year, and my wife's always wanted to come home. She's saying it took a gamble for me to come over, away from everything she knows, her family, her mum, her dad, to come over to Australia to be with me and let me chase my dreams. And I felt like it was my time to give back to her and my kids, so then they can spend time with their cousins, uncles, aunties here in New Zealand. And so I was lucky we played the Warriors at home, and I actually played all right. And I felt like I had a bit of bartering, like, because of the way I played that game. I could actually use that as a bit of, do you reckon you could give me something? We went to the Warriors, and they had a bit going on at the moment. They said, hold off, give us a few months and then we'll get back to you. And then the next game we played them, I played all right too.
Yeah.
And then they came straight to the party after that game and were like, we got this, and this for this, and this. And we're just waiting for a few things getting moved around here, and then we'll get something to you. And it wasn't confirmed. But then once I got the contract, like, sent to my agent, that was like, it was pretty special.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. And then around that same time, you get named in the Kiwis, right?
Yeah, I got named in the Kiwis. Debut.
Yeah. Because I remember seeing you debuting, pretty emotional.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like,
yeah.
And obviously you heard through what I've spoken about to go from where I was. I used to go to the bloody TAB and watch the Kiwis play. Like, go down to the local pub and watch the Kiwis play when I was doing nothing in my life. And now I'm that person that on the TV singing the national anthem and doing the haka before a game, and just all those emotions just went through my head, and all the sacrifices that not only I've made, but my wife and mum and nan and dad, that's just all come to fruition through that. And
you carry it all with you.
That was my way of giving back to them and all the people that's kind of helped me along the way.
Yeah,
but that would have been funny in the household.
Yeah,
playing against Tonga and
my wife, like my sons, my kids are Tongan too, so it was crazy.
Yeah, but it's a privilege moment, eh? Like, to be able to go, to put the jersey on, represent your family, and like you said, bro, to carry all of that stuff that had happened. When you're standing there, was it a pinch yourself moment? Like, to think you were going to give it away, well, your head mentally thought, nah, that's done. You said you'd blown at your knees, you put on weight, like, the journey back, mentally, it's massive. Like, how do you reconcile all of that, bro? How does a person go from being there to now you're standing on the field, putting on your Kiwi, just making your debut? How does it happen?
I don't know, bro. It's a hard one. Like, a lot of sacrifices, and just kind of waking up to yourself, I reckon. Like, being true. And I think the biggest one is just being who you are and not being scared. Like Ali said before, like, who cares what other people think of you? You could be seen as a failure. And that's what, when I was going through those times, that's how I felt. I let down, and it wasn't until I just sucked it up and just got on with it. I started seeing doors open, and instead of just sulking and being the victim. So like, once I stopped being that victim, I I started seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
Also, your story just, it tells you about, in some of our boys' lives, probably they didn't have any father figures. So I hear in your story, it's quite as, your grandmother, your mum, and then your wife now. So those are the ones that kind of pushed you on the way and they really encourage you. Those are your whys. And so it's amazing to have that, because I deal with the 21s at the Warriors, and man, your story is like a story of like triumph, but also there was times where you were down and out. And there's always a way. And I think I love it how you said in your culture, it was, your grandmother always used to, it was always their family, the whānau, I think that's what kind of really pushed you on it. Just from hearing your story. So it's awesome, man. Someone out there is this story definitely going to resonate with them. So
yeah. And I think to those things about having to push through difficult times, the self-doubt, can I do this, but I really like what you said, bro, about when you strip it all back, like Ali's saying, it's the one or two people, that's all you need. They really believe in you. They really are there through the thick and thin, and you've got to find that. And I think what's powerful from your story is the ability to self-reflect and take ownership, Erin. Like, a lot of people might reflect, but be still like, nah, it's their fault. Or nah, I'm not going to change. But actually the ability to say, I see it and I'm going to do something about it. And I think even in a footy context, it's a very similar thing. We can talk all we want about review and what we see and what we don't, but who then in the room is willing to stand up and say, let's do something about it, And I think, and that's probably where I want to lead to now in the Warriors, right? I see your leadership come through, and I get to sit in some of those spaces where not many get to see. But what do you think about Erin Clark, the leader now? Because I reckon you've got a different leadership style, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? How do you lead, and how?
Before I used to try and lead through my voice, but I didn't think that was my quality, like my leading quality. I think now it's my actions. Younger days I used to try and talk, so then everyone try and lead everyone that way. But from what I'm noticing this year is my actions kind of do my talking for me. And it's kind of working. And I just, I already say things here and there if it's feel it's valid. Other than that, I just try and lead by action. But obviously, I remember my first day, I had to say a speech in front of the boys, and all I said was, if I can help you not make the same mistakes I did, I'm doing my job here as an older player. And only time I'll talk is when I start to see things like that creeping in. And we got a lot of young talent at the club, bro, and got a lot of friends, a lot of people outside noise that could get a hold of them. And I just want to try and not have them to have to go through the same stuff I did to get to here, where they can just go on this good path and have a good career from start to finish. So
And so my last question before we get to what we call Fast Five is in terms of your life right now, where you're at, where does Erin Clark see himself sort of 5 years from now? I'm not talking about what team or club. We all love you and we wanted you to stay here and finish here, right? But so I'm just talking about in terms of life, of mindset. Where's Erin?
Something we're sorting out now, me and my wife, bro, trying to look at a few businesses, a few business ventures, something that my wife enjoys, and then something that I can fall back on after footy, whether it's transporting business, stuff here and there.
Some
we're trying to look at it's kind of good financially now. I've kind of learned my lessons at younger age, trying to put all things together. So I just want to be kids happy. Bro, I could be living under a bridge, bro, but as long as my kids are healthy and my wife's happy, I'm happy. So
if you're listening, guys, and you got a truck you want to sell, I'm out over here. It's cheap,
mainstream, main free.
Come on board, guys.
They are a sponsor of the New Zealand Road Mainstream. So
looking for a run too. Looking for a run. So I need to.
Let's have a few convos. All right, bro, we're just going to ask you a fast five, couple of questions, and then we'll land it with some thoughts if
Yeah.
there's any takeaways or things you want to say before the end. But these are just rapid fire, a bit of fun, maybe some insightful stuff. So, Erin, best advice you've ever received?
Keep your circle small.
Nice. Pre-game ritual that you swear by?
Cheeseburger.
I don't have one,
Easy.
Nice.
Favorite post-game meal?
Pasta person.
Macca's.
And what's your Macca's meal?
Double cheese, double quarter pounder. Yeah, stop the quarter pounder.
Nice. And what's that song that gets you going?
Booyah Tro, bang on.
Throwing it back. And bro, this is a last one. What's the one word to describe the version of you that's come through the hardest season of your life? If you had one word to describe Erin Clark now.
Resilient.
Nice, bro. So, bro, with that all being said, like, I'll throw to Ali first. And Ali, any final thoughts? From you around this conversation, around what we've heard today, and talk with Erin about.
Thanks for coming on board. Love your story. But also, I just wanted to kind of share, like, even seeing you through the young grades, I think one of your probably best attributes was like you just had a go, and we knew that even whatever that you thought that you didn't do well, but I think you always manned up, and we always relied on you, and whatever you had to make a tackle, or if you had to do a hard carry, you're always there. So don't think of yourself in the early years that I think you bring something, and I think that's what probably our coaches and everyone has seen you. But just love your story. Thanks for coming on board, and wish you all the best for the remainder of the year.
Thanks, man. And bro, any final thoughts from you? Final words of advice or wisdom that Erin Clark would like to drop for listeners and viewers today?
Just that. Just realize who the real people are in your life. Don't chase the crowds. Don't chase temptation. Like, just because, like Cliff said, when it's all said and done, when you peel it right back, only the real people are going to be there. That's going to either, when you fall, that are going to be right beside you, doing the tough times with you. So like if I was talking to my younger self, is just keep your eyes open and look after the real people who's been there since the start, because at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones there going through your tough times. So.
Mean, bro. Nice. So, bro, thank you again for your time. Thank you for joining us and for sharing all of your kōrero, because, bro, it's powerful. And, we're keen to not make this the last time that you're part of this kōrero, even with our other athletes that we bring on the show. So really appreciate you and giving up your time. We know your guys' time is precious. And again, we just want to say thank you to our sponsor, Te Rauora, and for the amazing work that they're doing around mental well-being and resilience. So, that's us.